How is
Cool.
everything?
Not too bad. What about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. This is the way of the world, right? And now
Yes, it is,
meeting people
unfortunately.
for the first time through Zoom.
Yeah. I think this is the first time I'm actually wearing like a non-t-shirt in about a month and a half. So there you
Yeah,
go.
right. You didn't have to dress up. It's all right.
Please. It was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, no, I know it's funny. My my wife and I were both working from home, and both of us are similar to what you're saying. It's like we have to get dressed at least a couple of times a week, otherwise, you feel
Yeah,
too far out of the routine, right?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, do you guys have kids?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lucky you.
Yeah.
It gets even
I've
worse.
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah. I
guess it
mean,
depends on the age, right?
yeah. I mean, both my guys are one's in second grade, the other one's in pre-K. So it's
Oh
the
yeah.
challenges of both of us working from home and then trying to not only homeschool them but also entertain them and keep them sane is
Yeah.
very difficult.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say it's
the way of the
not
world now.
yeah, you have your job and you're like a part-time teacher too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily,
So,
my wife actually happens to be a teacher,
oh,
so
there you
she
go. That
can
helps a
hand.
lot.
Yeah, so I'm essentially I've been relegated to the role of principal in the house.
There,
So
there you go. That's not a
yeah,
bad role to be in. So I generally like to just start these things. We've never met before, so we you want to just explain kind of what you do a little bit, and then we'll go into kind of how you got into the business.
sure. Yeah, I'm a management side labor and employment attorney. So I'm a principal in the law firm called Jackson Lewis. We are 61 offices across the country. We're 950 some odd attorneys. So as you can imagine, with everything that's going on now, we've been very, very busy.
Yeah, yeah.
The courts are closed mostly, so
Mhm.
litigations have slowed down, but the advice and counsel stuff has greatly picked up. So look, well, state, Fed, they pass all these laws. You have employers that are scrambling trying to figure out compliance and things like that. So we've been
Yeah.
helping employers of all sizes, literally from a two-person shop up to Fortune 100 companies, to
Mm.
comply with these things. So,
Yeah, what's like the most common thing you're seeing right now as far
uh,
as like questions go?
yeah, unfortunately, the most common thing that we're seeing right now is employers. How are they responding to the problems? Meaning, like,
Mm.
from a financial standpoint, hey, look, Tim, we can't afford to keep all of our people. What do we do? So it's a lot of, you know, furloughing, a lot of, mass terminations, things like that.
Gotcha.
I am hoping that this is all short term and all those people will be back to work.
Yeah.
But you never know. So we're going to hope that once the state kind of removes the pause, that people can kind
Hmm.
of get back to their lives as usual. And hopefully that means more people will be back at work. They'll be working. And, I think that's the main thing right now is everyone's starting to kind of realize the importance and the value of their jobs, right? Not just
Yeah.
in the sense that it's a paycheck. It's
Hmm.
keeps you sane. It gives you something to do.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of purpose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So how did you get into the field of law? When did that all come about?
So when I was in law school, my second year of law school, they always tell you when you're in law school, try to get onto a journal. So I wrote on and I got chosen by the school's labor and employment law journal, and I went to school basically down the road in Hofstra.
Okay.
So a lot of my classes were geared towards labor and employment just because I happened to be on that journal. And then
Mhm.
my third year in law school, I was clerking for a small labor and employment shop on Long Island, and that converted to a full-time gig once I graduated and I got admitted to the bar, and essentially that's what I've been doing ever since. But yeah, so growing up, it's you watch a lot of Law and Order, you watch a lot of the movies and the TV shows, and
Yeah.
you realize, hey, what, that looks like that might be a fun gig.
Yeah.
Postscript: practicing law is not like how it is on TV.
Yeah, I'm sure it's completely different.
Yeah,
um,
but yeah, that's how I kind of fell into it.
Very cool. Very cool. And how long have you been doing it now for?
Let's see, I've been admitted for 12 years now. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So you got some experience. You got some
a little bit,
experience now.
a little bit. I've seen some
uh,
things.
yeah, and it's funny. I found your name through the Melville Chamber.
Yep.
I just opened up my business about 2 months ago in Melville, right on
Okay.
Melville Park Road.
Okay.
So how'd you get involved with how'd you get involved with the chamber?
So our firm has traditionally had a relationship with the Melville Chamber because our Long Island office is located in Melville.
Gotcha.
So we've always had a relationship with them as far as, we're a resource,
Yeah.
employers of all sizes, we represent anybody. So
Yeah.
we got involved with them relatively early on once the firm moved offices into Melville, because we used to be located in Woodbury. But from that point moving forward, we've always had like a rotating seat kind of. Somebody would get involved with the chamber. For me personally, I've been involved with the chamber for a number of years now. I'm actually on the board. I think my title is technically secretary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I mean, Ted and all those guys at the chamber, everybody who's on the board, they really looking out for everybody. So especially now, I mean, they're doing significant outreach, trying to help all the businesses as far as compliance, webinars and things like that.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's something I wanted to look more into. I've always heard of the Chamber of Commerce. It's just not. I'm part of a networking group now called IBO, but I wanted to do. Yeah, and we actually meet in Melville too. But I wanted to do something. Right? Yeah. I think it's the Sweet Hollow Diner.
Yep.
Now
I went to a meeting there not that long ago, a couple months back.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it was like at the time it was small. It was like 6 or 7 people, but it was mostly like real estate folks.
Yep. Yeah, it's similar around that size right now. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I must have been out. I must have been out that day. But it's a great group. We actually meet through Zoom now every Wednesday morning. So we're adapting as much as we can.
I've gotten the emails, but I mean, like for me personally, trying to do like 7 a.m. meetings is tough with the kids, because I have to take them to school if and when schools reopen. So
right. I know it's looking like, is school done for the year? I mean, that's
Cuomo this morning. Cuomo just said that he is going to make an announcement next week as far as his decision.
All right.
Personally, and I have no inside information, but personally, I would be shocked if they wound up going back.
Yeah, me too, honestly. So how have you, speaking of adapting, how are you, what are you guys doing over at your business to adapt to everything that's going on? Are you doing more Zoom calls like this? Like what's kind of like the change?
Yeah, I mean, look, Jackson Lewis is great in the sense that from a technology standpoint, they're on top of the ball. So we have adapted relatively quickly. We went to remote work in mid-March. So I'm lucky. I actually have a designated workspace in my house. I basically have all the same capabilities that I would have had in the office, absent like a giant copier. So I'm able to remote right in, and it's been relatively seamless as far as getting the work done. So that's good. And as a firm, we're still communicating, via email, phone calls. Everything is forwarded to the house, so everybody is basically business as usual. The real challenge has just been things like courts are closed, so how we do that. They're slowly opening. I know a number of courts are doing a lot of virtual meetings and things like that. I personally haven't had that yet, because a lot of my cases haven't had any conferences coming up. I think I have one scheduled next week. I don't know ultimately if it's going to wind up going forward, but the firm's been good. They've been adapting and on the fly, as we all are, and it's been relatively easy for the employees as well. I mean, it's not even just the attorneys that are working remotely. We have support staff, administrative assistants, data analysts. They're all working remotely.
Yeah, and I've heard of some of those virtual court meetings. I was hoping you'd done a few so I could ask you about them, but
all I've seen is from like the headlines that we get as a reporter, and they've done things like a couple of courts have had to remind attorneys, even though yes, this is a virtual meeting, you need to look and dress professionally. A couple of people were shirtless, and I think that caused a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, people are like laying in bed with their phone.
Yeah, it's like, hey Judge, what's going on?
Yeah, right. That's got to make for an interesting time for sure.
Yep.
Well, listen, man, I just wanted to do a quick call, introduce myself, talk about everything that's going on a little bit. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up? Anything you have going on at your business? I know it's a strange time, obviously, but
yeah, I mean,
any chamber events coming up? Anything you want to bring up?
Well, I mean, as far as chamber events are concerned, it was actually supposed to be last week, but we were doing a concert. It's going to be rescheduled to when, I don't know. We don't know yet. But it's basically it's cover bands. It's 2 bands that come in and they do cover bands. One's Hall & Oates, and then the other one is, I can't recall the one off the top of my head. But that's going to be a good event. It's good entertainment. It's a cheap night out if and when we're able to do it again. So that would be good. But as far as chamber in general, look, the networking meetings are great. The ability to communicate with other fellow business owners is great.
Yeah.
And a lot of the webinars and just generalized topics that people talk about when they come to these meetings, it's great. It's a free source of information. Because I know like they were doing a lot of ones on like the SBA loans, the PPP loans and things like that. So that's good information and it's free mostly. The main thing with us was, as far as Jackson Lewis, look, we are like any other employer. We're all struggling right now in the sense that it's tough, right? Everyone's got a new sense of stress. We're trying to work from home. If you're lucky enough to be working at all, it's tough. But the firm in general has been it's been great. They've been great with their employees. They're receptive. We're all in this together. And I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing that phrase, but we're all really kind of in this together. But as far as any of small businesses, mid-sized businesses, large businesses, any employer of any size on Long Island or nationwide, we're here for you. We can help. I mean, just these laws that are getting passed and pushed out quickly and perhaps not as cleanly as they should be. We're learning them along with the clients and we're giving them the best practical advice as a result. So, look, as Governor Cuomo, issues new executive orders, we're on top of it. So if you for example, if you go to our website, jacksonlewis.com, and one of the first things you'll see is unfortunately a picture of a virus, and it's COVID-19 related. If you click on that link, it is literally a collection of information, of links for governmental agencies, new laws that are being passed, articles that we're writing about them, summing them up for you. That way you have the information in bite-sized, digestible pieces. It's
good resource.
It's a great resource.
That normal people will understand, when they read
it. People are shocked when they talk to people like me because they're like, "Oh, you're an attorney and you can actually sum things up and it sounds normal." Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do.
It's some of that stuff is crazy. Even like on the insurance side of things, I have to read, through the insurance forms and policies, and sometimes I'm like, and I've been doing it almost 10 years too, and I'm like, oh my God, you really need to be like just the specific wording that's used. You have to really understand it all,
Back in the day, attorneys used to get paid by the word. So that's why we're all trying to break out of that mold now, and we're trying to be as succinct as possible. But that's sometimes you have to get into the weeds a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, obviously the website, is there an email or something you want to give out that's better?
Or if anybody has a need, I'm always reachable. I'm always responsive. Phone number is 631-247-4630. That is the line that rings on my desk in the office, but it gets forwarded to my house for now. And then my email address is timothy.domanick, DOMANICK @jacksonlewis.com.